Hello and welcome back to Middle of the Pack,
I'm Pip.
and I am Fax. And today we are back after a short couple of days because we're trying to get back on schedule and be, I guess, responsible
Yeah, we
or
told y'all
time.
we'd be back, and we're
Yeah,
here.
yeah, we're
You're
here.
welcome.
Yes, exactly. There's no other podcast except for probably multiple others that can give you this type of timeline of releases. And we honestly, I think we talked about it, and we're doing this all for the guy in Brussels. That's what it comes
Yeah,
down
it's
to.
really for him at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, the rest of our fellow Americans, we love you guys. We know that you're all around and watching, and we appreciate it. But the Brussels guy, that's like extra commitment. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
when he listens.
he's going out of his way.
Yeah,
He makes it so we can say that we are international.
exactly. International after 5 episodes. Not a lot
Kind
of
of
people can
crazy.
say that. Kind
No,
of
they
crazy.
cannot.
No. But regardless, now we're back to the episode. We are going to start off with what's been going on around the sports world. Because as if we spoke it into existence last week,
We
Pip,
did.
the WNBA popped
It's
off a little bit,
falling in our lap, falling right to
falling
us.
right into our lap. That's right. And who else but Caitlin Clark? Um,
Yeah.
Interesting this past weekend for all of you who live under a rock, duh. Caitlin Clark in a game against the Chicago Sky got pushed.
She got checked.
She got
That
she
wasn't
got
just
done.
a push. That she wasn't even looking, and that no name just walked up and laid her on the floor.
Yeah, Chenedy.
Yeah, the
What a
only way
name.
to make a name for herself is to go check the person that may put WNBA on the map.
Yeah, so and there's been a lot of sides on this. And I don't I don't disagree with the people that are like, damn, little unnecessary to be checking Caitlin Clark, but I do disagree with the people that are constantly complaining about it because it did we're talking about it. It's got some chatter, you
Oh,
know.
it
I
does.
like
It definitely does.
I like that they're kind of standing on it. They just need to double down if they're gonna play this game with hating Caitlin Clark. They just got to be about it. Is really like the biggest thing that needs to come out of this.
And
You
I
know?
see a lot of chatter back and forth where it's like, oh, she's just being treated like a rookie, or she's just a rookie. What did she expect to come in and run the league? But like, no one's doing that shit to any other rookie.
Yeah, that's true. That is
No other
hazing to
rookie
the
is
next
just
level.
getting smacked because that's damn near every game that the Indiana Fever has played. She's been hit hard.
Yeah, and this one especially, like, watching the video, I was thinking immediately, like, they didn't even try to hide that one. That one
No,
was, like, straight up after a score. There's that quick little lull where they kinda set up for their offense, and then
just walks up and hits
Shanity,
her.
yeah, just fucking came up and decked her to the ground.
And then to go on the interview afterwards and say, I'm not answering any Caitlin Clark questions, and then put out tweets that it's like, other than 3-point shooting, what does she really bring to the game? Like, you are a nobody. Nobody even knew your name before you did that shit. And that's probably the only reason you did that shit to begin with. Is because people are going to talk about it now. So guess what? People know who you are now. Congratulations. That's the only way you knew how to make a name for yourself, because it's definitely not from playing basketball.
No, and I believe you were going over it with me a little bit before the show, but her history isn't all that grand either in general for old Chenedy.
No, I could read it right now. It's still pulled up.
There you go.
Old Chinity Carter, 25 years old, nicknamed herself Hollywood, and she was taken in 2020 in the first round, fourth pick, but also in 2021 got terminated from Atlanta for threatening to beat up her own teammates. In 2022, LA Sparks picked her up and then waived her mid-season due to poor conduct. 2023, played abroad in Turkey. 2024, signed with the Chicago Sky, and within 7 games, got a flagrant foul against Caitlin Clark, and then wants to talk all over social media like she is just cold at basketball and just discredits everything Caitlin Clark has ever done.
Yeah, and I mean, Caitlin Clark she's started her rookie campaign. She's not doing amazing by any means. I think her 3-point percentage is at like 36 and like her field goal percentage is at like 40 something, but you got to give it time for her to kind of get used to this new environment, and she's still bringing eyes to the screen that a lot of people have not before. No one really even cared about the WNBA. It was the running joke for the longest time. And now that Caitlin Clark is in there,
People
people are
care.
actually talking about it. People care. And old Chenedy, like, the thing is, Chenedy, can I call you Chenedy? Chen? Hey, Chen.
Who
So here's
cares?
the thing, Chen. There's a difference between being Mr. or Mrs. Tough person. You want to be Mr. Tough Guy, Mrs. Tough Girl, whatever. But when you're just constantly getting in trouble for it, you're not tough or hard or whatever you want to call it. You're just toxic as fuck. You're not adding anything to the team. You're not giving them the edge that some other players can give. Even Draymond Green gave something to the Warriors, even though he was constantly being an asshat. He still
Yeah.
had something to give to his team.
He still had a
Whereas
viable role.
Yes. Whereas you, Chenedy,
I'm gonna look something up while you're going on this. I got you in a second. Go ahead.
okay, bet. You, Chenedy, you haven't contributed anything other than making a headline and then subtweeting after after outwardly denying to talk about it in a press conference. If you are going to be this person, if this is the role that you're going to play, you need to be about it at the pressers. You need to be about it in her face on the court all the time. And then tweet away for all I care because I know that you've already said it to their face. I know that you've let the media know that you're not about it. But to see that shit, I don't like that spineless shit. You got to be, if you're going to talk about it, you got to be about it. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, I just
You
looked it
find what
up.
you're looking for?
She has a career average of like 12 points a game. And I don't
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
be honest with you, I don't know how that correlates to like the NBA,
Yeah.
but 12 points per game might be solid. I don't know. I genuinely just don't know enough, and I'll call myself out for that one. I don't know if that's like a top tier thing in the WNBA to average 12. I
No,
don't really know. So
it it genuinely could be, but I feel like the point stands regardless. Like if you're going to establish yourself as this professional basketball player and that's the role that you decide to take or the route you decide to take, the same thing happens in hockey. In hockey even, there's that one dude who's just like he's the fucking rough dude who goes out and gets in fights. And if Kennedy's going to do this and she's going to be that person, like you can't just refuse to talk about it. You can't just hide from it and then just hide behind a
yeah,
screen.
stand on it.
Yeah. You got to be all about it.
But shout out Caitlin Clark because she has not bit on any of this bullshit all season.
No. She's talked her shit on the court after throwing some shots in somebody's face, but who doesn't do that? If
Yeah,
you
but I'm
guys
talking about all this extra shit because like
Oh yeah.
they're always asking her like, how'd you receive this tough foul, or what did you think of this flagrant that was assessed that you took? And she like doesn't bite on any of it. She's
Yeah,
like,
that is very
yeah,
true.
it's just rough basketball. It's just part of the game. Like it is what it is. Like she doesn't bite for any of this clickbait shit at all.
Yeah, she's been pretty pro about it. And if you see my point anyways, like her talking on the court, everyone's going to talk on the court.
Everybody
So
runs their mouth playing ball.
anyone who wants to like try to take that angle, you can. Like if you've seen Pip on a court, I'm going to give everybody at home some perspective right now. Pip is 6'2" and built like a fucking truck. Fax, me, is 5'7" and 140 pounds soaking wet. When Pip and I play one on one, it doesn't matter. When he shoots it in my face and it goes in, he talks his shit because Pip doesn't care who you are, as anyone doesn't care who you are. It's just what it is. Pip throws a shot over me because his arms reach about a foot above my head. He doesn't care. He tells me to get better because it's just what you do when you play
It's
sports.
part of the game, man.
It's part of the game, and you got to learn to take it, and you got to learn to fucking roll with the punches and keep her moving. It's basketball. It's sports in general. Don't take it so personally. Stop being
Right, but
stop being a bitch.
yeah. But I
I mean,
am glad that hopefully, I'm not going to complain with storylines from the WNBA because now it just transitions us to talk about them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly as we predicted. WNBA. But with the WNBA comes other news that can't always be the forefront. So, right after the WNBA news, it actually happened this morning. You
Crazy
texted me
stuff.
about it.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson signed a brand new deal, and he is making a lot of money.
The highest paid non quarterback player of all time.
Yeah. So that whole wide receiver market is about to get a little touchy because of egos, I would say. Because
Yeah.
if you if you look at it skill wise, Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the league
And one
right
of
now.
the youngest talents as well. He's probably the best receiver in the league while also being only like 24 years old.
Exactly. So he has all this longevity. He's fucking amazing at football and he's getting paid like that. But the problem is a lot of these other dudes are going to start talking themselves up, or I feel like there's going to be this civil unrest within the league of wide receivers who think that they should be getting paid like Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, because it's going to be really interesting because I see the Bengals having to make some sort of the same type of deal probably sooner than later. Because before the Minnesota even did that with Justin Jefferson, the Bengals actually came out and said they're waiting to see what the Vikings are going to pay Justin Jefferson before they try to make that deal with Jamar Chase. Terrible call. You could have set your own market,
Yep,
but because now Jamar is sitting there looking like, oh, my old college teammate just became the highest paid wide receiver of all time. Why
yep,
can't I?
yep. Yeah, they really dug themselves into a hole on that one. I don't see how they get out of that now because of course he's now going to be like, I'm just as good as him. And then what are the Bengals going to say? No, you're not. Uh-oh.
And okay, then you let him go, and you're
Yep.
not gonna let him go.
I wouldn't.
No,
Because yeah, Jamar Chase, no, he isn't as good as Justin Jefferson, but he's still like probably top 10, maybe even arguably top 5 in the league.
oh, 100%.
He is an amazing receiver, and that is a indisputable fact if you watch more than 2 minutes of a Bengals game on offense because they're the guy he's throwing to. And T is the perfect complement. And that is
Yeah,
gonna
we
have its
gotta.
own problem now.
Yeah, because if they pay Jamar Chase that kind of money, their real only option without having to send themselves into bankruptcy is they're gonna have to either continuously franchise tag T Higgins, trade him, or eventually just franchise tag him until his contract is up and then he walks away.
Yeah.
Because they're never gonna pay him that money.
No.
They're not.
No, I mean, and he's a great player, but yeah, he just can't get paid, especially when his role on the Bengals right now is just a wide receiver too, and that doesn't diminish his skill set at all. It's what happens to receivers sometimes. It's the
Yeah,
same
because he's
reason.
easily a wide receiver one on probably 75% of NFL franchises.
Exactly, and you could say the same for Devonta Smith, who is
Yeah.
technically the wide receiver too, because AJ Brown is getting 32 million a year. And Devonta Smith he got his extension recently, but now that question of how much is a wide receiver worth has really been put into the ether for a lot of wide receivers to personally interpret because
Right.
of this new deal.
Granted, I'm not disagreeing with the money they're paying Justin Jefferson. Fully
No,
deserved.
yeah, I mean, yeah, in a way, because it's an objective reality that all NFL players are paid a lot of fucking money, and there's nothing that you, me, or anyone else can really do about that because they generate so much revenue, so they get paid a lot of money because they take a lot of the share of what they make, and that's just it is what it is at this point. So saying that people are overpaid in professional sports is yeah, it's a dead argument. Like everyone already gets that part.
Yeah.
But if they are going to be getting paid this much, yeah, Justin Jefferson is probably the one dude right now who is like coming up on a new deal that deserved this money. It's
It's going
not
to be really interesting, though, because the Cowboys are about to also have to sign CeeDee
yes.
Lamb.
Mhm. And I
When
mean,
and if you I know a lot of people aren't even going to entertain the conversation of the same realm of player, but if you put stats right beside each other, I mean, CD's right there.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm not saying that CD is just as good as Justin Jefferson. Probably not in the full skill set of things, but stat wise, he's right there. He might be like a couple hundred yards behind, but he has more touchdowns.
Yep. And I mean, last year too, CD Lamb did kind of go off. He had a
He was a
great,
stud.
great year.
He was a stud last year.
Yeah. And he was like, I think it was him, AJ Brown, and then I don't really know who else I put in the top three because JJ didn't
Tyreek.
play a lot last year because of injury. Tyreek, yeah. So it was probably those three last year because
Niggas Tyreek.
Tyreek is always gonna have a million yards.
Yeah, that's what he does. He's fast.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He's just faster than everybody. So, but with CD's deal coming up, a lot of the other receivers though they're going to overvalue themselves, and it was kind of the same way the running back market got inflated for a little bit because a couple of deals all of a sudden makes everybody think they're worth their weight. I had to struggle with that with Jonathan Taylor, and
Yeah, because it's been proven time and time again. There is only a handful of running backs that are actually going to be worth the money because it's been many times now that we've seen like their backup come in and do the exact same thing. It
yeah,
just proves the point that like running back might not be the position that you want to shell hundreds of $1 million into.
no. And wide receivers, I could say it's a little more wide receivers is probably actually one of the closest other than maybe offensive linemen in regards to their worth their money because wide receivers can go for quite a while. There's still
Yes,
wide
they can.
receivers in the league today that you kind of forget are still in the league. Like I remember I forgot last year that Tyler Lockett was still in the league. But
He is, and
it's
he's
just
still
because
producing too.
yeah, he's still one of the top receivers. He still catches footballs. Larry Fitzgerald has been in there forever. I mean, he's gone now, but he was there forever.
Yeah,
Reggie
he only
Wayne was
left
there
like a
forever.
season or two ago.
Yeah, Reggie Wayne left, I think, a couple years into Andrew Luck's campaign. So that was a good, you still got a good solid 12 years out of him, I'm pretty sure.
Adam
Like,
Thielen is still producing.
there you go. Adam Thielen. So if any position market is gonna get high like inflated higher, it the wide receiver market makes probably the most sense because O linemen already get paid
Yeah,
quite a
as they
lot of
should.
money. Yeah, as they should, because they protect objectively the most important position in football, which is the leader of the team, the quarterback. And the
Yep.
quarterback is always going to be the quarterback. That's just quarterback is king. Don't even try it. But now we run into what are people going to say when it comes to their receivers to get a deal? Because we had a little hiccup a few years back with Christian Kirk because
Yep.
that was wrong.
A hella overpay.
That was wrong. I mean, maybe he's the pioneer though. You know, maybe he walked so Justin Jefferson could run.
Right.
Like, I mean,
Somebody had to get
honestly,
severely overpaid so the guy that deserved it could make all the money.
yeah. So thank you, Christian Kirk.
Appreciate
Uh,
it. It's the only thing
y-
you've done right.
yeah, I mean, and hey, we can't be mad at that. You get your money, man. You don't really got to do shit.
You got your bag, bro. Good job.
Yeah, carry on. It's like Chase Daniel as a backup quarterback making all those millions of dollars over the years. That's what Christian Kirk is doing. I mean, except you
Right.
still have to play, unfortunately, dude. You still
He
got to get
does.
beat the fuck up.
He still has to be out there.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's the big NFL news over the weekend. It's going to be exciting. All I did as far as like my team is concerned is watch Anthony Richardson highlights as I usually do because I need to mentally prepare and get myself way too excited for this season.
What did you think about what CJ Stroud said about his
Uh,
quarterback rankings?
oh, the rankings. Yeah, he
He
put
placed
himself at.
himself third.
Yeah, I was about to say he placed himself at number three. Give it a couple more years, but the confidence is necessary in order to be a
Granted, he
great
did
quarterback.
say that was his rankings for 2023.
Yes.
He
And
didn't say all time he's better than them. He said last season alone, he was better than them. And that statistically is probably true.
yeah, probably. I mean, you have to assume that every quarterback who says they don't look at stats is a fucking liar, and they definitely look at stats. So I'd have
Yeah.
to imagine that CJ Stroud probably did look at that, and he was like, "Okay, this is objectively where I stand." He seems to be a pretty analytical dude in the sense of, like, he's a or I guess calculated would be a better term. He, has an objective viewpoint of things, and he seems to look at things at everything from a more strategic viewpoint. So I
Yeah.
don't think he was overhyping himself. The only thing that I had an issue with is when he just said he waxed the Colts both time last year, because he didn't. Statistically, he did not, and he only faced Anthony Richardson once. He didn't face him
Okay.
twice.
You'll have him 2 more times.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I can't wait. Anthony Richardson looks like a fucking monster out there, man. I'm ready. I don't think he's gonna be this pinpoint accurate CJ Stroud, but he's able to do a lot more than people think. And with a tandem like Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor in the backfield, two dudes to worry about, CJ Stroud isn't necessarily known for scrambling. Like, he can do it. He has the ability to do it, but he doesn't prefer it. So
Yeah, he doesn't want to. He made that
exactly.
very clear at Ohio State.
Yeah. Yeah. I
'Cause
remember the one
he
time he
straight
did.
up said at Ohio State, somebody was like, "You have so many opportunities to scramble. Why don't you do it?" He's like, "My job is to play quarterback, not to run the ball."
Hmm. So yeah, from a passing perspective, CJ Stroud might have one up on Anthony Richardson, but playmaking ability, who knows? That is, to me at least, it's still to be desired, because I need to see a full Anthony Richardson season. And
Yeah.
my delusional optimism is going to carry me quite a long ways. Quite a
We'll
long
see how it
ways.
goes. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. But also within the NFL, the next not as good news for somebody.
Yeah, no.
Unfortunately, NFL legend, offensive lineman Larry Allen passed away suddenly in his Miami home. And when you're as young as he was when passing away, it's always shitty. Like, this dude was a fucking monster on the field. You said
He
he was
was.
known for chasing dudes down, right?
There, dude, his most viral clip, the most viral clip of Larry Allen is watching this fucking behemoth of a man showcase such speed and chase down somebody to prevent a touchdown. If you
Exactly.
haven't seen the clip, just go on YouTube, look up Larry Allen chase down. You'll find it.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty insane to watch how massive of a human this guy was running that fast.
And those are
He
the
was a freak.
best. Yeah, those are the best offensive lineman videos, because you see those going viral on Twitter all the time now during the season, when like a Jason Kelsey or like a Quentin Nelson or somebody is running down the field with their running back. That is somebody who was doing it before it was cool. Larry Allen was a beast. Um, actually lost a real one. That dude was fucking solid.
We
It's
did.
unfortunate. Thoughts and prayers to the family, because that can be tough. Really, really tough to deal with. But that's a legend, and y'all better respect your legends. That's what you got to do. Pay your
Rest
respects. We
in
don't got
peace,
to be
Larry
family.
Allen.
Yep, he's Larry Allen. Rest in peace to the man. But moving on from football, I know that you didn't really have much to offer on this topic, and neither do I. So this might not be very long. But the NHL finals are set.
Yeah, hockey.
Hockey. So for all of you who are just like us and aren't really involved with the NHL in any capacity, I'm going to try to speak for us, because, yes, who better to be the voice for hockey than some random guys on a podcast where they love football and basketball? So the NHL, the Panthers and the Oilers are in the finals. The Florida Panthers, Edmonton Oilers. And Pip, one thing I will say in regards to hockey and our lack of watching is, I highly implore you to try to watch at least one game, because many years, for many years, I have neglected the sport that is hockey. But as I became an adult and I've watched shows like Letterkenny, because they all sound like me and it's take place in Canada, or the offspring of that show, Shoresy, which is purely about hockey, or I listen to Spit and Chicklets all the time because I love the culture of hockey, and because of that, I started watching it a little bit. And I would highly implore you to watch one game, because it's
I'll watch the
actually,
game. I'll
yeah,
watch the
it's
game.
It's fun to fucking watch. I just wish I had the attention span, or I guess I wish all the knowledge of how hockey worked would just immediately jump into my brain, so that way I could watch it with the same perspective that I watch football in.
Yeah.
Because the toughest thing about getting into a sport, and I'm sure
I don't
you
know the
agree with
rules.
me, yeah, is you don't know what the fuck is going on. So, I know that there's a bunch of dudes skating around on the ice and that they're trying to get it into the net, and then that sometimes they hit each other or fight each other, and that is fucking awesome.
It was
But
almost like when me and you used to go to rugby matches. We had no idea what the
yeah,
fuck was going on, but we were
yeah,
having a great time.
exactly, exactly. So being there and being in that environment, fucking amazing. But we just need to, I don't know, we need to get into it somehow because I love the culture. I think it's probably because I grew up around similar people.
Yeah.
Um, I attached myself to a team, the Montreal Canadiens, which wasn't a bandwagon because they didn't even make the playoffs. And the only reason I became a Canadiens fan was because of my little league teammate who's on that team now, Cole Caulfield.
Go
Stevens
Preds.
Point represent again. So, Cole, you are the only reason I'm a fan of the Canadiens. I just remember you as being the other short guy on the little league team and that you laughed at my jokes. So, for me, you got my loyalty forever.
Yeah.
Anyone who
Fan for
finds me funny, got it. Buddy, that's my best friend. Never. No one could replace you, buddy. I promise.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Back the fuck off everybody else. It's mine. But yeah, the finals are set. So that's what's going to be going into the week. I'll probably try to catch a couple of games just so I can. It's like that when you do get into a new sport. That's when you are supposed to jump in. Is like
Yeah.
the
The championship.
finals. Yeah, championship game. That's how I got into NBA. Like that's how I got better integrated was watching finals. So I watched the Warriors win for like 8 years or whatever the
We don't
fuck
got to talk
because
about it.
yeah, they won a lot. So that's about it. And then I remember I fully got in when the Bucks won because I was like, "Oh, playoffs." I was like, "Oh, Bucks are good. Okay, yeah, I should be like cheering for the team of where I'm from." And then I kept watching, and then they won, and I was like, "Boom! All right, let's do it
I'm in.
again."
Motherfucker, I'm in.
Say less, brother.
But speaking of the finals,
Yes,
another finals is set. The
that's right.
NBA finals, where we got the Boston Celtics, no surprise, and the Dallas Mavericks.
Kind of a surprise.
Sort of. Yeah.
Sort of. At the beginning of the playoffs, you weren't anticipating it as much as you were in the semifinals.
Right. Come conference finals, everybody was like, okay, they're going to the finals. Got it.
Yep.
We're gonna have we're gonna have a Mavs Celtics finals. But if I don't think other than Mavericks fans, when the
Oh yeah.
Western Conference playoffs were set, no one was like 100% Mavs coming out of this thing. I didn't.
Exactly. No, I did not at all.
I
I did
didn't.
not see that coming. And I can happily say that I'm glad that it became true. Unfortunately, it was at the demise of the newest, hottest star in Anthony Edwards. But yeah,
Sadly, yeah.
let's talk about that last game because we recorded last time before the final game of that series took place, and holy shit, that
The
did not go
Mavericks
as planned
fucked them up.
in every way possible. It seemed like it was the biggest example of imposing their will that I've seen in a long time,
Yeah,
as
Luca
far
came
as,
out and
like,
was
the
going
game.
going point for point with their entire team.
Yeah. He had, like, 20 points in what was it, like, the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that?
Yeah,
It was
20 points in
insane.
10 minutes.
Yeah, that was wild because I remember I tuned in a little bit late, so I
Yeah,
had,
because
like,
I
got
texted
home.
you and I was like, Luca has 20 and the Wolves have 23.
Yeah,
So
I had just taken my first look at the scoreboard when I got your text. I had, like, opened up the game, I looked down, and I was like, "Oh, shit. Mavs are on one," and then I look at my text, and I'm like, "Oh, shit, that's all Luka."
Luca's
Like
doing all of that.
yeah. So that was insane. Um, Luka definitely showed that he is here to win a finals and nothing else, and I feel like he's the most aggressive player in the finals in that right, because you can definitely see it from the side of Tatum. You can see it from the side of Jaylen Brown. Like, they do need to win this finals in regards to the Celtics' legacy and the team that they've built. But
Yeah, because they're
Luka
known
looks
as
like
chokesters.
exactly. But Luka looks like he's coming for fucking heads.
Yeah, he
Like,
looks fucking angry.
yeah, and like he's always angry, but he looks a lot angrier than usual. Like he looks like he
He
wants to murder.
genuinely looks like a man on a fucking mission right now.
Yeah, and that is terrifying, and it's even more terrifying when you have like a seasoned vet who's currently playing some of the best basketball in his career in Kyrie Irving, because
Yeah,
that's
no kidding.
yeah, that gets a lot scarier when you put Kyrie into the mix because Kyrie is not playing bad at all. He is actually playing amazing
Which
for
is it's I'm really interested to see this because in all sense of the rosters, Boston's got a better roster.
yeah.
Boston's deeper, way more depth,
Yep.
and their just quality of role players is a lot better.
Yes. But
But Luca and Kyrie exist.
exactly. And I didn't think after this year that I would be saying like the deadliest duo in the league is Luca and Kyrie, but it's starting to be pretty fucking true,
Yeah,
especially
no
after
one
that form.
expected this one would work, but this duo is disgusting.
Yeah, it is a scary duo and they have their role players, but yeah, it's definitely not as notable as Boston because Boston, yeah, they are the complete team. They are the complete team in the league.
They
But
are.
Minnesota was looking pretty good in regards to depth. It just came down to performance time in the semifinals when the lights got brighter and certain people tried to be heroes when they should have not tried to be
Karl Anthony
heroes.
Towns.
Carl Anthony Towns. That's when the Wolves started to fall apart. And the Mavs, I don't know. It's so weird because I don't really know how to put it into words. But just watching the Mavs play basketball, even with the stars very clearly being Kyrie and Luca, they looked like a more complete team the entire time. They looked
They
like
do
they.
play some of the best team basketball in the league
Mhm.
right now, and it's not even really close. They play so fluid. They don't care who's got the ball. They don't care who's taking shots. They play
Yeah,
together. It's beautiful.
yeah, and I think where they have an advantage too is when it comes down to it, they knew who to get the ball to. Like
Yeah,
they would let Luca do his thing towards the end of games. Or if Luca was hot, they would keep feeding it to him. Or they would give it to Kyrie, or they would let Kyrie just kind of like dribble around the court and make people look ridiculous. You know, they don't force anything and no one else tries to play hero when they don't need to be playing hero.
right.
And that's where the
They're not
Wolves
above just being able to feed the hot hand. They don't really care who the
exactly.
hot hand is because they don't mind giving it to whoever's hitting.
No. No. But they are
As we've seen
aware.
in this playoff run,
Yeah.
even when PJ Washington was the hot hand,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
fed that
Right.
motherfucker.
I know that boy, yeah, he was eating good that night. Like
Yeah,
they yeah, exactly. And that's I think that's what they have on the Celtics because the Celtics have all of that depth, but sometimes you kind of forget, all right, who's going to be doing the what right now? Is it Jalen's night? Is it Tatum's night? Is it fucking is Kristaps going to be back? He should be back
he
all the
should
way.
be. It hasn't been announced yet, but I'm sure as it gets closer to the finals, it'll get announced that he is going to make his return. Because it was
Yeah.
rumored at first, before the Eastern Conference Finals even started, that if that series was to go to like 6 or 7, that he would be available come like Game 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he should be back.
Exactly. So they have to figure out, you know, who's going to be hot on what night. And they still do play like great team basketball, but just watching that fluid motion of the Mavericks, I would be fucking worried if I was the Celtics because yeah,
Yeah, they're not a team to fuck around with at all.
no, not at all. And when you have a team that recognizes not only how to feed the hot hand, but also who the stars are when it comes time to make star plays, that's a scary combo to have because you don't know who's going to be shooting the ball or at the end of a game, you know that you got to face like the best motherfucker on the court and Luca is a-okay with facing whoever on the court
Oh
as
yeah,
you
he's fine
saw.
with that. He don't
Oh
care.
yeah. He invites it. Like, that is going to be super exciting to watch. But I think overall, I guess what we got to do is maybe go over what we could take away from the Wolves in their series and kind of what's going to happen to them now that the offseason is forced upon them. I don't think they really wanted to, but
No, they didn't.
based on that last game, dude, I don't know. I just didn't like how it seemed like they were almost mailing it in. Like it was like overwhelming to them in a way.
They rolled over and died.
Yeah, like really bad.
They got punched in the mouth the first quarter and was just like, nope, we're done. We'll try again next year. This isn't fun anymore. Luca's kicking my ass.
I
Help.
want to go home. I want to
Sub me
go
out,
home.
coach, please.
Yeah, that was just tough to watch, especially if you're a Minnesota fan. I can only imagine because you got that little smidge, that small percentage of momentum after that win.
And
And
it
then
got
you were like
ripped away from you by Luka Doncic.
in one night in the first 10 minutes. Like it was like, "Oh, this is that kind of game. Oh shit. Okay, we might be in trouble,
Got
guys."
it.
We yeah. Because Luca owned the Wolves all night, and Anthony Edwards, he let me down in this series. I wanted to see more.
I did too.
I wanted to see a lot more. And I don't think by any means it's the end of this story for him, but
No.
seeing it early is always much more exciting than seeing someone develop into that guy.
Right.
When somebody's just that dude off the bat and you see that ice cold killer mentality, you're locked in. You're
Hmm.
all about it.
The hype builds up a lot faster when you're a young guy is just tormenting the league. It's
Exactly.
great.
Yep, and you can even see in the NFL, I'll reluctantly say, but CJ Stroud was that guy last year.
It was
I mean, Bijan Robinson didn't even get the chance to be that guy last year, but that's because the
Arthur
Falcons were
Smith.
a fucking mess. Falcons were a fucking mess. I mean, they probably still are going to be, but who knows? NBA, NBA. But
Yeah.
yeah, now that the Wolves go home, I'm thinking that your theory is going to be correct. I think it might be the end of the line for Cat in regards to his tenure with the Wolves, just because it's starting to make more sense. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah, no, it definitely does, especially if they want to make that next step, there has to be a shakeup like that. I don't think you can just sit and take what you just got out of that run. Like, yeah, it was a great run. Minnesota hasn't been shit for a long time. They made a run all the way to the Western Conference Finals. But
Hmm.
he shit the bed so fucking bad.
But yeah, like I was saying, doing so much during a game and having such little output, you cannot help but start to think that some of those games were on his shoulders in regards to why they lost.
Yeah, and it's fine. Like, if they wanted to sit back like before when they sucked, but they're like, well, he's our franchise player. We can't let him go. Well, clearly now he's not.
Yep.
Anthony
Yep.
Edwards is 100% your guy. No one on this earth could fucking debate that one.
No.
Anthony Edwards is the Wolves franchise player. So I think now there isn't that conversation of we can't get rid of our franchise guy because he's not. You have your franchise.
Exactly.
So that's nothing to worry about.
No, and he's 22 years old. So
He is.
you have plenty of time to build around him. You could take the whole team down except for him right now. I don't recommend it by any
I
means.
wouldn't.
Don't do that. But you could based on how young he is. Which just illustrates the point of how big of a star he is to an even higher degree. But you have solid players on your team still. You still have Nas Reed, you still have Rudy Gobert who you just gotten. He did a fuck ton for you guys this year. So
Yeah, you
you
got
have a
Jaden
team.
Jaden McDaniels.
Yep. Another great defensive player. So you have a team that's solidified. You just need that perfect complement to Anthony Edwards. No matter who that might be, I mean, that's still to be desired, but still, like, you have a team, and I think it's time for Cat to go.
Yeah, I'm fully on board with that one. I've said it so many times, and my thoughts on it haven't wavered.
Yeah.
I think it's about that time.
No, I agree. It's about that time. And now we get to talk about how, well, we would be getting to talk about the finals and the games and hey, watch out tomorrow for this and this, but shit, man, it's going to be at the end of the week, June
Yeah,
6th.
yeah, Thursday.
Yeah. Why would you give us this lull, NBA? You know, the finals, you just got to don't pre-schedule it. I don't want the break. I want to get
I
right
don't
into the
either.
shit.
Hey, but at least when we record Sunday for next week's episode, we will be able to talk about it. Probably two games by then.
Yeah, yeah. So there
I don't
is
know the full
that.
schedule.
Yeah, no. No. I think yeah, I think it'll be nice to be able to talk about a couple of games, but this
Oh,
series
so
is going to be
no.
great.
We're gonna be able to talk about if we record on Sunday, we will be talking about game one. And because if we recorded Sunday, that is game two. But we
Yeah.
always we record before 7 p.m. So
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, we'll squeeze a game in there. So yeah, 6 9. Nice.
unless we conformed our schedule around the
I
final
mean, we
schedule
could.
and record on Monday like we're doing right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we could do that for sure. Yeah. We'll
So
get
next week's episode for y'all, we'll be discussing game one and two.
exactly. And for the time being, right now, we want to get into what we expect to see at a game one because game one is going to be exciting. It's going to be that first little taste that everyone's going to be getting of what this finals is going to be like, or at least a little
Mm-hmm.
taste of what we're going to see out of each of these players. And
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I know that everyone and their mom, even the casual fans, even your guys' mothers, they're going to be tuning in.
Oh, of
Not as
course.
much as they tune into us, but they might watch a couple minutes of a game.
Yeah, but they'll be
And
here for this podcast. You don't got to
oh
worry
yeah,
about
they'll
that.
be here. Yeah, trust me, they got the notifications on. I'm fully aware, so they know when this episode's dropping. But I don't want to get too far into that. I don't want to make you guys feel that bad. So we'll get right into this game one. What do you want to see? What are you expecting? And how do you think the series is going to get started?
I think we're gonna have a staple game, game one in Boston. I would take Boston in a narrow win, game one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're gonna come out back. They're back in the finals for the first time in a couple years. They're on their home court. I think they're going to take a narrow one in game one. I don't think they're going to blow them out.
Yeah,
I'd say probably Boston by 8.
Boston by 8.
I think we're
Yeah,
going to see a big Jason Tatum game.
yeah. Right now they have 6.5 as favorites. So the spread, yeah, 6.5. Over unders at 214.5.
Mm-hmm.
So that's damn pretty accurate. You should be out there, man.
Yeah, bro. I
Jumping on
haven't even looked at
ESPN.
any of that stuff.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say. I know that felt genuine. That's why I was saying that. You got real close. I didn't feel like you were pulling that out of the notebook or nothing. I love that. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a really, really good game one, and specifically because Boston's at home, I think they might be able to squeak away game one. And the Mavericks, I don't know, because this is harder than I thought. Well, I think it's because of the whole curse thing too. You know, Kyrie has not beaten the Celtics ever since he stepped on the logo type of deal.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be more of a subconscious storyline in everyone's brain. I think he's going to lose that first game and everyone's going to be like, "Oh shit, it's true. Boston's going to win it all because Kyrie can't beat them." Blah blah blah. And I feel like that narrative is going to get pushed a little harder
Oh yeah,
at the
100%.
start of the finals.
But
So
I
I
also
see
I don't see Boston's crowd being as effective on Luka as it is on everybody else. Luka
yeah.
loves that shit.
Yeah, I was going to say Luca loves being the bad guy.
He
So
does.
if he gets to play villain and he gets to play spoiler, I'm sure he would love nothing more than to crush the dreams of the fans in Boston. So yeah, that's your little alibi for game one. But yeah, I would agree with you overall. I think Boston's going to take at least game one to start off the series. And what I would want to see is, I think I want to see Luca kind of start to show him that he's gonna be here for a while, like maybe Luka over 40 points. That might be a tasty bet to take just to be like,
Ooh,
you guys escaped us, but Luka was on your fucking tail type of deal. And then later in the series, that's when I would start maybe flirting with some overs for Kyrie.
I definitely think it's gonna go into Dallas tied at 1-1.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So I think we're gonna see a strong start for Luca because of how dominant he's been lately and how it seems like literally nothing in the world can phase him right now. And like I mentioned earlier, his war path and how he looks like he wants to collect the heads of each person on the Boston Celtics roster. He looks mean and he looks like a fucking menace, and I think he's going to show that it's not going to be as easy as they think. You
yeah,
know,
I'm with you on
and
that one.
yeah, it could go 1-1 especially too because if Boston does escape Dallas in game 1 and they do get that win, they might start getting comfortable and thinking it's more of a Pacers type of deal where they kind of kept squeaking those wins out, squeaking those wins out. Okay, hey, as long as we finish these games, we're good. But then all of a sudden, game 2, they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah, because unlike the Pacers, Mavericks have closers. They have
Yeah,
two.
yeah,
They have two.
and they have two. They have two gentlemen who are very comfortable closing out a game and have proven to do such multiple times.
Easily.
And and they just got done rolling the team that you guys honestly before that series started thought you were probably going to face.
Yeah,
You
I think
know,
everyone, I'm not gonna say everyone. I'm saying probably over 50% of the people out there probably would have thought the Wolves were going to the finals. I did.
boom.
Yeah,
I
me.
did. Yep. Here he is. I called that sweep. I was wrong. Very wrong. Literally couldn't have been more wrong. Actually, well, meh, if the Wolves didn't get one, I would have been all the way wrong. But
The Mavs helped you out and just gentlemen sweep them. Little
yeah, and I
gentleman sweep.
appreciate that. I appreciate that after I betrayed Kyrie, he still was nice enough to let one go. But then because of that, Luca had to do what he had to do earlier this week.
But
That was tough.
any way it goes, I do hope for a long series. I wouldn't mind a game 7 in the NBA Finals. You couldn't
Yeah.
ask for a better close to the season than a game 7 winner take all championship. That would be incredible.
Oh yeah, and it feels like a real finals, you know? There's not like a team either of these teams don't look like they don't deserve to be here. Either of these teams have both been playing amazing basketball and have earned their spot very much so. It's just more so as far as Boston, if you want to play devil's advocate, had the easier road.
Oh, they
So,
have.
yeah,
Luca and the Mavs have beaten 350 win teams on this road to the finals.
yeah. And that's something that Boston needs to realize. And I don't know what it will take for them to realize it. Like maybe they're just getting prepared and they know they're about to go to war, but also at the same time, they might have to get told they're going to war, which is why I'm so insistent on that possible Luca over for the game 1 and definitely like you said a 1-1 series going into game 3 because this is
Yep.
going to be a fight and I'm very very excited to watch this one.
Oh, I'm super stoked. It's gonna be a good finals. It will
Yeah.
be.
Oh, yeah. And what do you think about I guess so we don't glaze the fucking Mavericks too much. What do we think about Boston and how they're gonna be doing? Because Tatum, he needs to show up for sure, and then Jaylen Brown is always gonna be Jaylen Brown. But is there anyone specific or who are you looking for to
I
kinda, like,
I
show
think a
their dick?
lot of this series. I think the game changer player, honestly, for the Celtics is going to be Drew Holiday. He
Yeah?
is the best defending guard, arguably in the league, and he
Yeah.
is going to have to shoulder that defensive prowess at all times. Whether he's guarding Luca or he's guarding Kyrie, he's guarding one of them.
Yeah,
You're not
yeah,
going
and
to take
that's
your best defender and not put it on one of them.
no. You don't have
So
that.
he's got a lot of responsibility. But the difference is in this standpoint, Drew Holiday is not young and talks reckless. Drew Holiday is a vet. He knows. He's done his role for a very long time. And Drew Holiday is one of the most underrated players, arguably in NBA history. This dude
Yes.
has been a problem for a very long time. and just continuously gets overlooked.
Oh, yeah,
So
absolutely.
I would easily say he's going to be the main factor for the Celtics in this series because they're going to need him. They're going to need him really bad. They're going to need him and Derek White because they're both incredible defenders.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a big, big storyline for the Celtics is their defense because I completely agree. Drew Holiday, he was a very, very key factor into the Bucks winning their championship, and he was also a very key factor into the Bucks' success. You know, it was not just purely Giannis. Drew Holiday was the perfect complement to Giannis because Giannis is a beast, but you also need that dude who's going to lock others down so they can really let the rest of the team kind of do their thing. And seeing Drew go away was sad, and he clearly hasn't lost a step in any regard because he was playing
No,
amazing basketball all year. And that's going to be tough. And like you said, he is that seasoned vet that knows who he's going up against a lot better than other people might. So when Anthony Edwards thinks, okay, I got KD for a couple of games and really showed that I'm here, but then he jumped up to Kyrie, and yes, they're completely different players, but it's you don't have all of the answers yet. Edwards found out
no.
pretty quickly, but Drew kind of knows that already. He knows that if he ends up guarding somebody like Kyrie, it's going to be a lot of hard work. And if anyone's up to that task, it's got to be him, especially when it comes to the Celtics. Derek White could definitely do some damage, and I think we might see a lot from him. But I kind of think you nailed it, though.
Yeah.
The defense is what's going to matter here. Like Tatum and Jalen Brown, they're going to do their thing for sure. But if Drew doesn't show up, that could expose the Celtics defense.
Yeah, I think that's about the best way I can sum it up. Drew Holiday got a lot of responsibility because he's going to get overlooked by every year just normal basketball watcher, your average Joe basketball watcher. I'm like, oh, it's Jason Tatum, it's Jalen Brown. Drew Holiday is their vet.
Yeah.
Him and Al Horford are their two vets.
Yeah, and I mean, if I didn't know Drew Holiday from the Bucks, I would probably be in the same boat in the sense of I'd be overlooking at him and I'd be more laser focused on Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown
Drew
and
Holiday has been an all-star
whatever.
for every team he's played for.
Yeah, he's a monster and he's going to be the key. But at the same time, we don't want to like mitigate that. Tatum needs to be a fucking monster in this series. He needs to be a beast. Like an unstoppable, can't miss a shot type of beast because this is their time and their window is closing very very fast.
Yeah.
Like they need to do something. Jalen Brown needs to do something, and I think because of that being true, not only for the Celtics but honestly also the Mavericks too, with Kyrie kind of getting up there in age, they both have a lot to lose if they don't win this finals, and it could end up making it worth that much more at the end of the day.
Yeah, especially for the Celtics for this one, right? For this finals here. They have so much riding on this finals because if you still you make these pushes year after year after year, but if you don't get one, you're not going to always convince your core that like next year's our year. Next
Yep.
year's the one we got. It's going to be hard to keep this same team together if you just keep making it to the same point and failing every year.
Yeah. So they got a lot to prove, and they have a tough road ahead of them with the Mavericks. So watch out for that game. It's gonna be hopefully it's gonna be fucking awesome, but I got a good feeling it is. And we'll be here for game twos, post game one, obviously. But yeah, after these first couple games, we'll be back. We'll give you the full rundown of what we're thinking so far. And I think it's going to be a real good series. Maybe we'll even get 5 minutes of NHL if I do decide to watch because I suggested that we watch, but I can't guarantee that I'm going to sit
Yeah,
down.
I'll try.
Yeah. So we're going to try our best. Maybe somebody else will push Caitlin Clark next week and we'll have more of that. I don't know. We'll
We'll see
try
what
our
happens, but
best.
at least we'll
Yeah.
have actual games to talk about next episode.
Exactly. So we do have that to look forward to. I've got a feeling too we might get some wide receiver talk at least. We're
I
gonna get
think
some
so.
chatter.
I think
Yeah.
so.
But other than that, that basically sums up this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you guys watching. We appreciate you
Especially
guys
Brussels guy.
downloading. Brussels guy, you are the goat. We will we will fly you out here
I will.
after we're rich, sure. I mean, it's inevitable, so all you gotta do is just kind of hold the house down for a little bit. We'll get you
Yeah,
there.
we got you one day.
Oh, yeah. So just get ready for that, Brussels guy, because you're fucking awesome. But the rest of you too, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching if you're watching. Thank you for downloading because I didn't even know that like downloading stats were a thing really because I did it only sometimes, like basically when I was going on an airplane. But apparently it is a thing and you guys download and that's awesome. We appreciate that. But until next week, this has been Middle of the Pack,
I'm Pip.
and I'm Fax, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.